Genshin Impact has turned 5 years old.
Hi guys, my name's Aoife, and I just turned 5.
And with another year comes another region. Welcome to Nod Krai, a lawless land with many factions. Some are friendly and some not so much, but all have one common enemy, the Wild Hunt. But one brave man aims to defeat the unstoppable force that ravages life itself. He's one of the protectors of Nod Krai, but does he have the skills to protect more than just that? Can you beat Genshin Impact with Only Flins? But before we get into the run, I'd like to give a big shout out to Opera GX for sponsoring this video. Are you frustrated that some of the best anime is unavailable in your country? Worry not, Opera's built-in VPN can help you with that. Use the ad blocker to stop those annoying pop-ups and get access to your favorite content by turning on the VPN and setting your location to Asia, America or Europe. Right now, you can even get 1 month of VPN Pro for free. Use the code EGGPLANT on this website, but be quick because this code only lasts until the end of this year. VPN Pro has over 3,000 private servers in over 30 countries and can secure up to 6 devices with a single subscription. Unlock your ultimate browsing experience with GX mods. It's just like getting a limited 5-star character in the first 10 pools. Like, just look at all this cool stuff. No pity system, just endless customization waiting to be claimed. Head over to the GX store to download mods that suit your vibe, or just go ahead and create your own if your dream mod doesn't exist yet. And remember, you can mix and match multiple mods, just like how I somehow try to make Siege Queen work on every team. Grinding through Arkham quests can get quite annoying, especially if you have to sit through hours of dialogue, but the pop-out video feature is literally a lifesaver. Just look at how useful it is. Sumeru Act 2 will never be boring, ever again. And you don't even have to worry about all of your saved bookmarks and browsing history. You can just import settings from your previous browser to Opera GX. Look how simple it is to do. So, what are you waiting for? Use my link below to download Opera GX today. Alright, the rules are as follows. I can only use Flins. All weapons and banners are allowed. No co-op, no food in combat, and no bug abusing. It's as simple as that, so let's just jump straight into it. We start off by getting lucky on the limited banner and pull the first 5-star male character in a year. Next up is Amber's domain, and the good thing here is that Flins is very tall, but he's too tall. His character model is so incredibly tall, he bangs his head on this thing here before he can even jump to the next platform, which means it's impossible to clear it this way. Why are you not jumping up, Flins? Flins, you m***er. It took 15 whole minutes to do this stupid domain because of the Slender Man creature, but it's fine. This is the only disadvantage of Flins being tall. He can easily jump over the spikes in Kaya's domain and perform the skip in Lisa's domain, so literally the rest of Act 1 is complete in less time than it took to do Amber's stupid piece of. So on to Act 2 we go. Just kidding. Daily commissions time. Our first fight is against the Eye of the Storm, and although we're like 1.5 venties tall, we still can't hit it in the air. It's fine though, because eventually we stuck our toothpick right through it.
Where did you rats scurry out from?
Excuse me, he's a ratnik, not a rat. The Ruin Guard is our first tough enemy, but thankfully for us, our skill gives Electro Infusion, so I'll be saying goodnight to this guy. And last on the list was the temple with this Abyss Mage, but we took more damage from ourselves than Ufi, so that's Act 2. Okay, what the f***? Polearm, please. Skyward Harp, yeah, sure, thank you. Only 40 minutes of grinding later and Act 3 is a go. Our first enemy was the Hydro Abyss Mage, and let me give you a cool little bit of info here. I've already said this before in a previous video, I think it was Chlorant only, but Electro is actually the worst element you can break a Hydro Shield with. But there is a unique mechanic. Electro Charge will deal damage over time to the Hydro Shield, which means if you have run out of Electro application, it will still damage the shield. However, Flins actually makes this interaction so much worse. Flins is a Nod Krai unit, which means he changes how reactions work. The one and only reaction he changes just happens to be Electro Charged. It becomes Lunar Charged, which means that it triggers every 2 seconds instead of 1, and also doesn't apply the damage over time effect that regular Electro Charge does. This is one of the few disadvantages that Flins has over other Electro characters. He can't break Hydro Shields as fast. But enough about this mage, it's time for the dragon. Flins is in a very good position right now. His regular attacks aren't anything that crazy, but his special burst is giving us a nice start to the high damage meter at 1010. It's a bit unfortunate that he can't sting the lizard hard enough to beat it in one phase, but just one more stun and that's it done.
Beauty is a waste when the a beholder has no taste.
Hey, you're arriving too. I guess that makes 2 of us. Okay, just you. I'm good, thanks. And there we have it. Mondstadt complete in only 2 hours, 50 minutes, and 33 seconds. Unfortunately, this is not a record. We're just slower than Mawika by literally 90 seconds, but honestly, second place isn't all too bad. Now you may be thinking, hey, what the hell? This guy's cheating. That close to Mawika under 3 hours? No way that's possible. Well, because of the Lunar 1 update, it actually is very possible. You see, the devs made the decision to make all chests and oculi give adventure rank experience, so the early grind just feels so much better. 30 XP for every type of chest and 60 XP for oculi means that I actually have an incentive to go out of my way to collect these. In my previous runs, I'd only focus on fast XP gathering, whether this meant using up resin or completing domains. I was hardly interested in chest gathering, but because Mondstadt chests now give 3 times as much XP, they're actually the fastest and most efficient to farm now because of how much weaker the enemies are compared to other regions. Now don't get me wrong, resin farming is still significantly faster, but it's limited, and because of a certain change mechanic, you'll see later that they're a lot more important to hoard. There's a lot of chests on the way to certain objectives anyways, so we're just gathering that extra XP as we get to the next step in each Archon quest. But for now, let's talk all about Flins' kit and see for ourselves whether he's actually that broken. Flins is an Electro Spear DPS designed for the Lunar Charged reaction, and although you usually need Hydro and Electro to trigger it, Flins actually has inbuilt Lunar Charge damage in his burst. Now this is his main source of damage and is actually split into 2 different abilities. Its regular burst and his special burst. Most of the time we're going to be using his special burst because it has a low energy cost of 30 and slides into his combo quite nicely. This part's going to sound a little bit complicated, but bear with me because it's actually not that complex. Flins first needs to use his skill, which gives him Electro Infusion on his normal attacks. His skill then transforms into a new skill which does decent electro damage right in front of him. This then changes his burst into a special burst, which does a quick single hit of Lunar Charge damage, and it even makes a moon symbol on the ground, so that's pretty neat. Now it's not as extravagant or showy as his regular burst, but it still packs quite a punch. If you've played Veresa before, he's very similar. No hate Flins, but Veresa is still my goat, but his main source of damage instead is Lunar Charged. His skill uptime is honestly not too bad. It lasts for 10 seconds and only has a 6-second cooldown. If anything, the weakest part of his kit is his normal attacks. They're not terrible, but if you compare it to the rest of his kit, it's like mochi pounding. It's like there and it helps, but it's nothing compared to the fucking Yoisho! Oh, and he can't plunge during his skill. Flins' big burst is literal ore farming. Like, sir, you don't have to do all that. Genshin Twitter is already thirsty enough for you. Actually, speaking of Twitter, I have one of those daily inventory accounts, but you'll never be able to figure out which one is me because there's just so many of them now. Don't try. Anyways, his burst is unique because it does both Electro and Lunar Charge damage, but don't let these numbers fool you, the Lunar Charge damage is still a lot more. We're also now level 40, which means our first Ascension talent is unlocked. Oh wow, I wonder what monstrosity we're gonna come across this time. Get ready for 5 whole paragraphs of text. Yeah, okay, well this is useless. Because we're a solo character, Flins is actually nerfed quite a lot. His regular teams rely on another Nod Krai character for him to actually bloom.
Oh.
That's you.
Oh my god. I'm blooming.
And he needs either Ino or a Nefer or both for his kit to be fully utilized. He can't trigger Lunar Charge with the sole exception of his bursts, and without this reaction, he's actually quite weak as a regular Electro character. We're in the early game right now, so you can't really see it, but he's only a tiny bit stronger than Korand. We will see later in the video whether this is the case, but we do something a bit different this time, which will make it a lot easier for us as we progress. Now we are running a Favonius Lance, which gives us energy recharge and generates particles for our special burst, but as we cannot unlock the Celia Garden, we can only level up this weapon so much. Later in the run, we're gonna have to swap out our weapons for something else, but hang on, wait a minute. 69, come on. Please, Flint's weapon. No, what the But that's enough talk. Let's move on to the nation of Geo. Buckle up and put your adventure hats on because we're going on a tour of Liyue's finest mountains. Welcome to Julian Cast, where the natural beauty of this land is being polluted by these unwelcome guests. Flins, please do remove these unpleasant distractions, and while you do, make sure you hit that damage high of 4,163. Next up on our little trip, we're gonna glide over to Mount Altang, a magnificent peak with a clear pool and the abode of none other than Cloud Retainer. Amber's Domain. All my homies hate Amber's Domain. This is how much I hate Amber. Back to the tour. Have a quick rest at Wangshu Inn and take in the breathtaking view that Liyue has to offer. Ignore this disgusting tower, I hope it sinks. Oh. Last up on our tour, we're gonna have to get rid of this artificial Kanrian bot, and we make quick work of it, so I hope you enjoyed our tour of like 2% of Liyue. Please leave me a good review. My name is Flins, and it has been a pleasure to guide you around this area that I am not even native to. After fighting Boreas, we hit AR 25, which meant it was time to go on a shopping spree. After our great tour across Liyue, why don't we take some souvenirs home with us? Okay, but why do we have to cook them ourselves though? Now Flins can't light the pot himself, so we're gonna have to call for help here. Actually, we're legally allowed to do this. Next up is Madame Ping's teapot, and there are a lot of electro slimes here, but thanks to these flowers here, we can do a decent amount of damage to them. Last up was the Guizhong Ballista, where the treasure hoarders were, treasure hoarding, but they messed with the wrong tourist guide. Osmanthus wine tastes the same, and you may have noticed already, but we're at level 50, which means it's the perfect time to talk about farming for Flins. Flins' boss is Knuckle Duckle, and although it's really new, this is low-key one of the easiest bosses to ever fight. We don't talk about the other one. Knuckle Duckle is relatively easy to get to, there's an easy path from the Moon Goddess statue, and a lot of waypoints along the way. The boss itself has 3 different moves. The first one is a strike with its hammer, and the second one is a swing of its saw. Sometimes after the hammer, it will follow up with 2 extra moves. These moves are pretty easy to dodge because the Duckle does a big wind up before each of them. The final move is its signature body slam, and it will do this like 60 to 70% of the time. Basically, it's a big slam into the ground, and after a couple of seconds, it will slam itself again with a very big AoE. Again, this move has a decent wind up, so you'll be able to dodge it pretty easily. After a few moves, the Duckle will body slam into the center of the arena, gain a shield, and spawn 5 miniature ducks. Flins himself can't defeat them because he needs constant electro charge or lunar charge damage, and his attacks don't do enough against them, so there's nothing you can really do but wait out this phase. However, if you want to be a little sweat like me, there is a way to maximize your profit. While in this state, Knuckle Duckle can perform up to 6 charges. The wiki says it's based on time at around 45 seconds, but I think that's a lie. I've compared my sweat run to my regular run, and I've managed to cut it down to about 35 seconds, so take it from me. If I'm wrong, I'll eat my shoe. Anyways, you can shorten the Duckle's charges by standing in line with the terrain. Just keep moving along the edge of the arena so that the angle it charges at is as slim as possible to the tangent. If that's too mathy for you, then just stand close to it on the edge. Just don't stand outside the arena, or it will reset itself. What the f***? I figured out later that I can cheese it even more because I have a Fav Lance equipped, so while the Duckle is charging, you can hit the mini ducks to generate elemental particles so that we can burst a lot once the shield comes down. Do this and you'll clear the boss real fast. Or just go ham and normal attack the duck out of it. You'll probably lose like a couple minutes of time each fight, so it's not that much. Now Flins' local specialty is the Frostlamp flower, and this is one of the best specialties to ever farm. There are only 4 locations where you can find the flower, and they're all close to an easy to access waypoint. There's 70 in the overworld, and you only need to collect 105 for challenge runs, so there's only 2 rounds of collection for you to do. Pretty easy. Me. I am not joining my own world, sorry. But after farming quite a bit, we hit up the Ascension domain and hit a new high of 5,512, which meant it was now time to go ahead and complete Liyue Act 3. Melilith, try again next business day. Fatui, literally our next door neighbor. Okay, come on, give me a real challenge. Okay, I'm not going to show the first 2 phases because it's literally child's play. Haha, get it? Child's play. But the 3rd phase also isn't all too bad. Child does have high electro resistance, but he attacks slow enough for us to not get hit. Okay, I'm not doing this bit again. Let's move on to the final battle for Liyue. And it's raining like mad, so you already know how this fight is going to go. Yeah, not as great as you'd think. I played this fight so incredibly safe after this that the Fatui just started ignoring the ballistas completely and just started aura farming themselves. Thank you, Ganyu, I really appreciate it. And there you go, Liyue is complete. Now we are still 2nd place in terms of times, but from here on out we're going to be slowing down a bit because of a little change that has happened after the Luna 1 update. We can no longer quick start Natlan. Until all of Nod Krai's Archon quests are released, these challenges are still stopping at the end of Natlan because it just feels weird to end it in the middle of a region and it's easier to compare each character. Natlan's Archon quests were so incredibly useful because of 2 reasons. 1, we get to complete them at a lower adventure rank, which means easier enemies, and 2, They provide enough adventure rank experience for us to immediately start Inazuma, Sumeru, and Fontaine's Archon quests with very minimal grinding, but we have no choice but to spend time grinding experience and also complete Natlan at a much harder state of the game. To put it into perspective, the difference between AR35 and AR40 is just more than 40,000, but Sumeru's Archon quests only give a total of about 24-ish. I can't remember, I did that calculations a long time ago. To get to Fontaine, you'd need to use more than 50 fragile resin. You'll see how I counter this a bit later, but for now, let's go straight to the Dainsea's quest. Flins is already very accustomed to dealing with the Abyss, so these guys are literal playthings compared to the Wild Hunt. These shields don't mean anything to us, whether they're Hydro, Pyro, or Cryo. These ones are still incredibly annoying though. The fights that were made to be run killers were merely stepping stones for Flins. But like I said earlier, we're terrible against Hydro shields, so this Herald actually gave us a run for its Mora. Another thing with Lunar Charge is that the applied Electro doesn't persist after Lunar Charged hits. The cloud literally hits one time and then it goes away. It's really ass against enemies like this Herald, but we still beat it to death channeling enchantment style. For the last fight, I went into this domain with like no health, so I almost got pummeled, but thankfully, the Herald only needs to go down to like 25% health and that's it, Dane done. So now it's just domain grinding and completing missions in the adventure handbook until it's time to make our way over to the Land of Lightning. The transmort balloon is up first, and there's water everywhere, so we get crazy lunar charged value here. Also, his burst in third person made him lose so much aura here, it looks like he's become senile. Next up was the police station. Okay buddy, pack it up. That's not cool. Go put the fries in the bag. Act 2 begins with hot dog taco hamburger. Oh my Archon, the hype moments, the aura, cinema. On the way to the resistance camp, we collected a few chests along the way and hit a new damage high of 6,723. And if you think that's crazy, you'll be even more amazed once you see this. Okay, fine, he can't hit those ones. Let's just go back down to earth a bit. No need to go all crazy about, oh my, so sugoi, so yeehaw. The bird survived! The bird survived! Oh. But now it's time to finish off Inazuma, and first things first, we've got the monuments to light up. Bruh. Two lightning strikes, are you serious? Now as Flins is an electro character with tons of application, he can easily light these up. We don't need to bring in any help. But Big Guy is another thing. We don't even take that much damage from him, most of the damage was literally the electrified water. Now as we hit the Delusion Factory, what is my delusional take this time? I've mentioned solo leveling like a few times this video, and if you haven't seen it already, my traveler is named Arise. I personally think the anime isn't as great as people make it out to be. The manhwa was a good read, but overall it's kinda substanceless. Like, I can appreciate the good action and fights, don't get me wrong. You can never go wrong with like a well-animated anime or a manhwa with really nice visuals, but that's all it is. And I'm not gonna hate on people that genuinely enjoy it. I think it's great that you like it, but anime of the year? You've got to be kidding me. I'd say literally every anime on this list deserved it more than Solo Leveling, and I've seen all of them except Kaiju number 8. I know it's more like a popularity contest, I guess, but that's still crazy. Screw it, here's my top 5 anime of 2024 that I've seen. Take note of the I've seen, because there's other great anime, I just haven't watched them. Anyways, back to aura farming, and this Harbinger here is capitalizing on it like mad. She's so confident she even teleported right next to the thermometer. Like dang, the guts on this woman is something else. Please Senora, stop it, save some for the rest of us. I come to realize something about the Senora fight. It's a bit late, but I've always said that the Pyro phase is harder, which is true, but it's not because of Senora herself. Her attacks in the Pyro phase are actually a lot easier to dodge. It's because she's using the Tatami as TP, like ma'am, it's everywhere. Oh fuck, she's everywhere. Now the A fight is torture for characters such as Flins, because as the Electro Archon, it only makes sense that she's immune. But ever since chat told me about how the revolving orbs work, there's no reason to play it safe. I'm happy to die just like that, because voila, get back to work Flins, put the fries in the bag. And that's right, I did say chat. Some of you may already know, but I've started streaming a few of the challenges like Llama Only and Emily Only live on YouTube, so if you ever do see me live, feel free to come along. We have tons of fun and it's always a blast, so if you ever want to know when I'm live, I have a Discord now. Chat, again, suggested to create one, so feel free to join that too. I've put the Discord in the description below, so come join the community. But with A's fight concluded, we finished Inazuma in 14 hours, 1 minute and 55 seconds. As per usual, from now I'll keep secret what place Flins is in until the end of the video. So without further ado, let's just jump straight into the Chasm quest. We're gonna skip ahead a few minutes to the Hydro Herald because these guys are like gooning or something. Like why are they so slow? It's the second and last time that we're fighting this guy, but I found a really interesting interaction. As you may know, each one of the heralds and lectors give a different debuff on some of their attacks. Hydro heralds make you gain increased cooldown on your abilities, but the weird thing is, Flins' special skill isn't affected by this cooldown increase. You can see that after we get hit, it still goes on a 6-second cooldown, but once the infusion ends, the main skill goes on 11 seconds instead of 6. It doesn't really affect us all that much, but it's pretty interesting to see how that works. But the real enemy is this guy. We can only normal attack him to death, but I've fought this guy plenty of times before. I know all its moves, all of its plans. I have experienced pain over and over again just to suffer multiple counts of embarrassing defeats at the hands of this monstrosity. But not this time. This time, we locked in, eyes narrowed, back hunched forward. It's like I ascended from the chains called humanity. The chains that once restricted me from my infinite potential. As the Lector sped up its deadly attacks, we barely even tickled him. But I was not going to give up. The pain and suffering of the poor Hilichurls, I had to take it all for myself. All it came down to was the final hit, and it was over. We were victorious. Yeah, now we had to deal with two of these f***s. Get me out of here. 20 minutes of grinding later, we hit AR 35, which means we can go ahead and start Sumeru. Now first up is the Withering, and this is the first time you'll get to see Flins' charged attack. There's like zero good uses for it because it actually just takes too long to charge up, but we need to use it to destroy the Withering Roses. Actually, now that I think of it, there's one good use, but you won't see it for a while. The area is surrounded by water, which makes us Lunar Charge, but we're a good few levels above these guys anyway, so they just go down real quick. Actually, speaking of levels, we're now at 70, which means that we've unlocked Flins' next Ascension talent, Whispering Flame, even though he's Electro. It's 2 sentences long. Flins might have the most easy to read kit since like Kaya. Basically, he just gained some more elemental mastery, which means our lunar damage will be increased by quite a bit more. Next up is the Dream Domain, and I usually skip through this place real fast. But because we need a ton of AR after we complete Sumeru, I'm actually incentivized to get every single chest here, so I'm sorry little ones. This guy you just can't beat, so fast forward a bit and now we're up against Ainalachma. We hit a new damage high of 10,640, which means we absolutely smashed these guys up good, so Act 1 was complete. Just keep it in your inventory.
Keep it in inventory. Yeah. Well, is this a bomb that will kill me?
No.
You blew it up. Saving our lives
you
right
can't
now.
just shank me. It's not. No, it's not me. It's not me. Yo.
Act 3 gives us our first Rift Hounds. We activate them so that we can do more damage to them, and Act 4 made us fight against Dia's frenemies. I say fight because we literally just one-shot them, so I don't really know what else to call it. The Elazar Hospital was up next, and because Flins is very handsome, I mean very tall, we had absolutely no trouble activating these monuments, and we got each one of them first try. Don't get stuck, you f***er. Inside the temple, we get put up against a bunch of fungi. Now, if you don't know, fungi go crazy when they get activated with Electro. So we activated them with Electro. And now we're done here, so on to the main event. Did someone say Fatui time? I said it's Fatui time. It's Fatui time, and what I mean by that is it's time for the Fatui. Okay, I wrote this part at like 3 AM, half awake, so I'm still keeping it in, but like what the hell was I thinking? The only problematic guy here was the Electro Hammer, and we didn't manage to knock him down before a shield came up, so we got jumped. But we did eventually knock him down, and the Pyro Agent followed right after. Well, hello Electro Hammer, great to see you again. Let's hope your friend here doesn't heal you back up to full HP before I can knock you out. Yeah, because of this monumental fumble, they both got their shields up. Please, no one come trick-or-treating as the Hydro Gunner this Halloween. I will be giving you sewage water. Like always, this fight is a joke. There's really no way you can lose here.
New God awakens.
The boat of consciousness ain't making me any more conscious. I'm about to pass out. Who's a cute doggy? Oh, who's a cute doggy? Who's a cute doggy? Oh, why are you resetting, you ugly mother? You can tell my mind wasn't there when I was writing this. If this guy gets a reset, I get one too. But with the big guy out of the way, we are done with Sumeru. Or almost. Flins, you're literally a lamp. Why do you need this fire? And now we meet our very first Cryo Herald. We break the shield way faster than the other two, but it still takes some time. This guy loves charging at us, so we use the pillars to our advantage and weave in a few hits and it's over in less than 2 minutes, which means we can finally leave this place. Yeah, I forgot. We still need about 13,000 experience. Now, as we approach the late game, there are 2 problems that we need to address. Firstly, the enemy strength increases. We're going up 2 whole world levels while we're only ascending to level 80, which means the enemies are getting much stronger compared to us. Our Favonius Lance is still also just level 50, so we're gonna struggle later down the road. We're sitting at about 55-ish pity on the guaranteed weapon, so I'm confident we'll get it before the end of the run, but in the meantime, we're gonna have to find a replacement. The second problem is that in all of my previous runs, I've quick started Natlan, so I'd usually complete its Archon quests at around AR 29 to 30. But because of how enemies are power crept by nation, Natlan enemies are going to be naturally stronger than those in earlier regions such as Inazuma or Sumeru, so it's really going to be rough. Our artifacts are basically the best they can be right now, but there's one other thing that we can do to buff ourselves up. That's right, the talent domain. I've never farmed these domains before in a run, but hey, there's a first time for everything. We have heaps of fragile resin to spend on like nothing else anyway, so why not? If we can get Flins to talent level 6, that's already at least a 50% total damage increase across the board. So off we went to the talent domain. Oops, I decided to spend 8 minutes fighting Gimel because I saw them in the handbook. Not worth. The domain itself just has a bunch of level 54 Fatui, so we hardly struggle. It's just that we farmed the hell out of this thing for like more than 20 minutes. But it was indeed enough to push us over the mark, so we went and increased our world level, which automatically raised us to AR 40. This meant one thing and one thing only. It was time to travel to the nation of Hydro. Flins is the natural when it comes to blooming. We've already mentioned his height, so we don't need to mention it again. I'm not jealous or anything. It's not like his beautiful, long, slender legs have anything to do with it. It's time for Act 2.
Did I spoil it for you?
Don't mind him, he's very polite. The only main combat section here is the mechs, which aren't even that bad. We did hit a new damage high of 13,386, and we did get a bit low because of these dogs, but it was nothing we couldn't handle. Yes! Flynn's weapon! Let's go! Now, Flynn's weapon needs drops from the Wild Hunt to level up. You can't get enough in the shop, so we need to go manually farm some. These guys are buffed up like crazy. They're actually so HP inflated, it's not even funny. Not only that, they have a double health bar and it regenerates if you can't kill them in time. And guess what? We can't kill them in time. We're basically dealing with like 3 to 4 bars worth of health from each Wild Hunt enemy. It's unreal. I can literally beat every boss, beat every force that has been out to get us, but the one thing I struggle against is some dumb overworld mob. And if you think that was bad, wait till you see this guy. Why do these guys even have this much health? Hello? I actually hate these guys so much, I'm not even going to bother leveling up this thing past level 70. And because we're no longer on Favlance, we're running attack crit damage, 2-piece Exile, 2-piece Berserker, as the energy regen from his weapon isn't enough to constantly keep bursting. Here's the stats, not too shabby for a solo run. They don't change too much from here on out, so why don't we just go ahead and jump straight into Act 5. Here's the only upside to Flynn's charge attack that I was talking about earlier. It hits hard enough so that the enemies get staggered and can't attack us. Only really ideal against single enemies that can be staggered though, so most of the time it's kind of pointless. But now it was time for the room, the torture chamber. Well, thanks to Flynn's new weapon, we use our regular burst and do a whopping 30,000 damage. Technically, if you add it all up, it's about 40, but we're just looking at the big number here. Yeah, this whale fight wasn't even a fight at all, so there we have it. Fontaine complete in under 30 hours. For this first Abyss Mage fight, we don't even need to cheese it. Flynns can break their shields real fast. The only real fight here is the Abyss Herald, but like the previous one, this one also got shredded. We didn't even take any damage in his shield phase. Alright, time to stop hallucinating. Let's move on to our final nation. Act 1 makes us face off against an Abyssal Pylon. Now this thing requires lots of application, and Flynn's has just that. We can't take it down in a single rotation however, but one more and it's out of here. The Abyssal monsters were up next, but they function as regular saurians here, and this guy just still refuses to put up his shield, so we have to outrun these shadows. Act 3 puts us against the Fatui, and this Electro Hammer gets his shield here, so yeah, we're suddenly doing Mondstadt level damage to him. This Geo guy was the last one alive, so I grabbed this Tapetli saw I had earlier to break its shield. Fatui shields are just so stupid because they take ages to break if it's not a specific element, even if it still reacts. Thank the Archons for the new Fatui enemies. I don't want to see a Cryogunner ever again. It's time for war. Let's skip ahead to this part where we're against the Mitacho Mimiflora. We don't have to do the strat here, we can proceed through this fight normally. The Mitacho isn't annoying because we're able to burn its shield really fast, and the other one went down pretty fast too. The next one basically burned itself to death, and with that, Mawika gains hacks, but misses literally every shot. What are you hitting, Mawika? Hello, Mawika, it would be very cool if you could hit the pylon. What the f are you hitting, Mawika? Why are you destroying the wildlife?
Close your eyes.
What is over there? But after commemorating our fallen brethren, we finished the entire challenge in 36 hours, 59 minutes, and 4 seconds. This is truly incredible. Even with quick starting Natlan, Flins has managed to take 3rd place, being only 1 hour and 45 minutes behind Skirk, and 1.5 hours faster than Escoffier. I had somewhat average expectations going into this run, as Flins is heavily reliant on having a team, but I was actually pleasantly surprised with how the run went. But with that being said, it's time to give him a fitting score and compare him to the other characters. For combat, it's an easy 5. He's hitting numbers close to Mawika in the late game, and he's able to easily dish out big damage with the low energy requirement of his special burst. His normal attacks are somewhat weak, and although there's quite a few enemies that are electro-resistant or immune, it's not nearly as bad as some of the other elements. Flins didn't struggle against a single story boss. I think his hardest matchup was the Electrolector. Being a Lunar Charge DPS, he's really not the best character suited for a solo run, but even so, he has direct Lunar Charge damage, so it's not like he can't trigger it at all. He can't fully utilize his kit or his talents as he needs the Ascending Gleam state, but even without it, he's packing quite a punch. He definitely felt stronger than Clorant. But my Veresa clears, I'm sorry. For farming, Flins gets a 4. His local specialty is one of the best to farm. They're all clumped together in 4 spots, and there's plenty on the map for only 2 rounds of collection. They're also flowers, so there's no requirement or special mechanic needed to pick them up, they're just there to be taken. His boss is a relatively easy boss. Flins is easily able to defeat it. He's unable to trigger the unique boss mechanic as a solo character, so I had to dock points off that, but even so, it's not like the boss has a wipeout effect or anything if you can't clear the shield. It just goes back to normal afterwards. His talent domain is just Fatui soldiers, so he has no problems there, but his weapon requires drops from the Wild Hunt, which can be very tedious to farm. Flins gets a 2 for exploration. He's a tall model and he can break rocks. We don't even need rocks for this run, so yeah, he's just tall. I'm giving him the same score as Chongyun and Escoffier, even though he's probably sitting in the middle of those two, Chongyun being just slightly better. His altered skill does a slight dash if that counts. Okay, but like, come on, let's be real, you're never using that out of combat. And lastly, for enjoyment, he gets a 4. I found him pretty similar in playstyle to Veresa, whose playstyle I really love, and the sound and visual effects on his abilities are so crisp. His aesthetics are really cool, and his burst is just pure cinema. I can't really give him a 5, however, I did come to appreciate and love him more during this run, so that's saying something. Flins gets an overall score of 15 out of 20, which is honestly not terrible. He's still on the lower end compared to the rest of the runs, but he's sitting in a nice spot, along with Escoffier and Chongyun. At least he didn't get the Yeon-san treatment. I'm really liking all of these new Nod Krai characters, and I'm looking forward to doing more of them. Lauma and Emily are in the works right now, and I'm thinking about Nefer. I'll see how she is first. If you did like this video, please make sure you like and subscribe. And if you want to see more, I'll be streaming some of them as well, so hit that notification bell or come join the Discord if you want to know when I'm going live next. But that is all from me. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.